It was like a dragnet to bring anything and anyone to him that would give him, just give me pleasure. $1 billion is his net worth estimated today, but he's in prison today with a long list of what? Sexual assault accusations against him.
Written in the book of love.
Welcome back to I Am, the podcast where we explore the depths of life and leadership. Today we're talking about men who have what every man would dream of: abundance of money, sex, and power. Imagine having more than you could use in a lifetime. If a man could have anything he wanted in today's world, most would admit that it would be sex, money, and power.
And it's been that way for a long time.
It has. For longer than we can imagine.
Time, yeah.
So let's look at...
And we're going to prove that today.
We are. And let's look at conclusions about life today and see what we can learn. Hey, Brent, it is so nice to have you back in the studio, buddy.
Well, man, it's always good to be here. And I'm really excited about this topic today.
What
really,
a topic.
Man. You know, there's a lot of people that can teach us a lot of things about success. But I don't think the guy that we're talking about on the first part of his life today was not one of those guys. He reminds me of the fact that there's no smaller package in all the world than a man all wrapped up in himself. And that's exactly what this guy's in. I'm going to keep you guessing for just a little bit, but he had so many wives that he had all the sex a man could want. He had so much money that some people came from halfway around the world just to see it for themselves. They came in camel caravans. And power, not only was he king, he was a prince that inherited the throne. The guy had power, money, and sex out the wazoo. But was he happy? That's the question for today. Was he happy?
That's a big question. So was he happy, man? Is that what you're telling me? I mean, that he was happy? I mean, what more could a man want, really?
Well, I don't know what more a guy could want, but I have studied this guy as a pastor, heard about him when I was a young boy, and I'm thinking, really? And now I'm realizing this guy was not content in the first part of his life, and today we're going to see the crossover, which brings hope to our audience.
He was a self-centered character, wasn't he?
Oh.
I bet he was. I bet he was big on the I, little on the U. Probably the way he spelled me.
Big I, little U, that spells me. That was his guy.
You know, I got that from you because you said that when we first met. I was like, that's funny. So,
well, you know what?
Tell me, who is he? Known for his wealth, known for his sexual prowess and influential power. Come on, who is he? Who is he?
Oh,
known for his wealth. Known for his wealth.
Look around
known
us.
for sexual prowess.
Look
known
around
for
us.
influential power.
There
Come
are
on now.
so many that could carry that torch, right?
Yeah, you're right.
4 immediately come to my mind. Bill Clinton.
Ooh.
Bill Gates. Bill Cosby.
Oh, that's big.
No, would they fit the bill?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were known for more than sex, wealth, and power, but every one of them had some common denominators. They had money.
Yeah.
They had a lot of renown, a lot of popularity, not necessarily political power, but Bill Clinton in his day, right? And yet, who wants to have that? Like, everybody in the world's heard of the blue dress. Everybody's heard of the 20-year-old. And I mean, it's, wow.
The
sad.
lie affected me most. With all that, the lie into that camera.
I've never had
sexual intercourse with that woman. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Bill Gates, worth $114 billion, married to Melinda for 27 years, now divorced from her. With why? Accusations that he made a trip down to Sex Island with Jeff Epstein. You don't want to be associated.
No, but he inspired me for so many years. Like, you look up to someone like that and what they accomplished and how they accomplished it.
Bill and Melinda both very philanthropic. Who wouldn't want to be like that, right?
And Melinda's still an amazing woman from what I understand.
Yeah, but who wants to have that attached anywhere
that
to
pain,
your character, right?
That hurt.
That
hurt.
How about Sean Combs?
Oh,
P. Diddy.
Puffy.
Huh? Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy, yeah.
$1 billion is his net worth estimated today, but he's in prison today with a long list of what? Sexual assault accusations against him.
More money and power than any one man could dream of.
Yeah. and arrogant about it.
Yeah. Well, and that's where it goes. Yeah.
Bill Clinton, estimated worth $120 million.
Oh, there's more money there. It's
Former
hidden
president.
on Epstein Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hidden.
Inappropriately involved with Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office, seen with Jeff Epstein on the sex island, trafficking, all these accusations like, really? Bill Cosby.
That's rough.
Oh,
That's rough. As a kid
Sad,
growing
right?
up watching
Sad.
him on TV.
$400 million of net worth. He's the America's dad. He's 8 years on TV. He's got this great show, stand-up comedian since the 1950s, 6 decades. He's knocking it dead.
Yeah.
And you got to be kidding. Like, you weren't getting enough before, so you go drug this woman over and over. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a sickening cycle.
Yeah.
And now we go back and we see it. Was it in the New Testament? Well, we're going to go beyond the New Testament 1,000 years and see it in this really, really big character. So I think this is an old problem. It's been around for a long, long time. Sex, power, wealth. Very, very shady moral legacies. Don't necessarily have to involve those, but oftentimes it does. So we ask ourselves today, why? Why?
Puffy combs. I mean, the 3 bills. I like that. The 3 bills. I mean, 3 bills. I mean, 3 of them.
Maybe it's the
Bill,
name.
Bill. I mean,
Don't ever name your kid Bill.
Yeah, never. Or William. I mean, you just keep away. You know, they all have similarities, don't they? They had so much that money and power could provide, yet there seems to be a disconnect between morality and evidence of character. Like there's a huge flaw there.
Yeah. Well, I would be delighted if every one of the accusations proved to be nothing more, but they're already in jail. It's more than accusations at this point. There's hard facts that have to be dealt with. The question on the spot brought these guys to my mind, but what we see in them is the exact opposite of how Jesus lived his life, what he taught us as his followers, how we're to live our life. Jesus said this, deny yourself, take up the difficulties of every day. That would be the cross he's referring to, and follow me. Follow me. It reminds me of the words of the Apostle Paul. Philippians chapter 2, verses 2, 3, and 4. Do nothing, not a single thing, out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in what? Humility. Consider others more significant, more important than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to your own interest, your own desire, your own lust, but also to the interests of others. This has been ongoing since the beginning of time. Those guys that we just mentioned, they weren't the first.
Yeah.
You know who it was in the Old Testament?
Who?
King Solomon.
Yes.
King Solomon. He was renowned. God called him the wisest ruler in history.
Wow, yeah.
Commanded an extraordinary power and wealth. 300 wives, 600 concubines, an annual income of, who knows, 666 talents of gold. That's 25 tons of gold.
Yeah.
Chuck, today, 1 ounce of gold is $3,200, give or take.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like there's no end to it.
Yeah.
His kingdom stretching from the Euphrates and Egypt's border. His legendary attendants included an ivory and gold throne, pure gold vessels, magnificent temple in Jerusalem.
Sounds like Trump.
Oh my!
Trump and the gold.
Wait a second. And it all supported this and sophisticated, for the day at least, sophisticated administrative system. His military strength, 1,400 chariots, 12,000 horsemen. During this peaceful 40-year reign, the kingdom just booming, and all of his luxury, he's just saying, hey, baby, give me another woman, give me more money, give me... I was just like, no end to this guy.
Well, you were glowing a lot when you were talking about his gold and all of his riches, and you start talking about his women. You're like, I don't know if I like that too much. It's rough.
Yeah, you know, any honest man would say, but if you do the numbers, like, okay, 300 wives, 600 concubines, 900 365 days in a year. Wait a second. If he wasn't satisfied, probably the women weren't either. And so like he got this like
cycle of misery, really.
Yeah. And so we ask ourselves, what is it? What's his life really characterized? He summarizes it. He summarizes his own life in the second chapter of a book he wrote in the Old Testament called Ecclesiastes, verses 10 and 11. He says this, and whatever my eyes desired, whatever I saw, I didn't keep back from a single one of those things. I didn't keep my heart from any single pleasure. Whatever my heart went for, I went after with all the gusto I could get. Yeah. I put pleasure in all of my toil, and this was the reward of my soul. This is when he summarized his life. I considered all that my hands had done and the toil I had expended in doing it, and behold, all was vanity. All was like striving after the wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun. None of it provided peace in his heart. None of it.
Wow.
A couple of books written by Solomon. One of the books is Proverbs. He says this in verse 3 of chapter 16. Commit your work and your way to the Lord, and your plans will be established. He ultimately realized what happiness was all about, but it certainly wasn't found in the big three, sex, wealth, and power.
How long was it between the time that he realized the error of his ways until he gave himself over to God and then wrote Proverbs?
I don't know how long it was. I honestly don't know, but that's something we can go back and study.
Very interesting, though.
Yeah.
What a powerful transformation.
Yeah.
And realization. I mean, you're truly coming to Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You know, as I said before, it would be great, right? If all the reports were false, nothing, it was just a bad dream. Bill Clinton, Bill Cosby, Puff Daddy, Bill Gates. But the fact is, Charles, we need an encounter with God if we're going to tell the real story and meaning of life.
You know what would be amazing is if they had an encounter with God. And if they had the encounter with God, kind of like Solomon did, and it lifted them up. Could you imagine what kind of incredible testimony that would be if they only knew what they had given up? That's what I hope our audience understands. What you're giving up to live that life. And I like to say this, I mean, it's wild to imagine sacrificing what eternity with God is and what it offers for 50 years of sex, drugs, and rock and roll?
Yeah.
I mean, sex, money, and power. Same thing, right? Solomon is often remembered as one of the wealthiest and wisest kings in history. It's incredible, but people idolized him. It makes me think about the Queen of Sheba. What about her? Because she did a lot to get to him, right?
It's interesting. The Bible actually mentions her name. She traveled approximately 900 miles by camel to visit King Solomon, a journey that took about 75 days. She's going about 20 miles a day. She brings gold, spices, precious stones, which was a customary diplomatic gift. She hears about Solomon's esteemed status, and she is demonstrating a significant effort, bringing resources, trying to say, sir, I've come with all of my respect. And Ecclesiastes tells us that she came to test him with hard questions, because she'd heard not only is he wealthy, not only is he a handsome stud, but he's a very, very wise man. So she comes with premeditated questions to see just how bright is this guy. And when she arrived, she was overwhelmed by his splendor, the scripture tells us. She was overwhelmed by his kingdom, the food, the table settings, and all the seating of the officials and all that stuff. And that she concludes this, Solomon, I've heard about you. But having seen what I've just seen and heard what I just heard, not even the half has been told about you. Now, this guy was the real deal.
Did anything come of them too?
Pardon me?
Did anything come of them too?
No. Well, who knows? Maybe she became 601. I don't know.
601.
I don't know.
But you just wonder because someone idolizing someone at that level.
Well, who knows? Who knows? But I'm assuming no because the Bible didn't say so. So we'll put that in there.
It's important.
Yeah, that is important. Yeah.
And this wealth was not just superficial, was it? I mean, it represented his achievements.
Totally. It was like a trophy. It was like a trophy. Yeah.
Yet we also see how it led to a troubling lifestyle. Like he struggled. I mean, polygamy, right? I mean, he had his struggles. Temperament. He had passion and appetite for wealth, sex, and power. Yep. It was never truly ending for him. It totally consumed him. But a nemesis, a cesspool of disobedience, it ultimately led him so far away from God.
It's like a slippery, like a slippery slope of carelessness.
That's
right?
what happens. I mean, be careful. Walk the path carefully.
Disobedience, self-centeredness, it spread from one area of his life into the other. Excessive wealth gave him abilities to do things that the poor man couldn't do. It was like a dragnet to bring anything and anyone to him that would give me pleasure. It's not an old concept. Hugh Hefner made millions off the hedonistic, if it feels good, do it, right? He looked for women. This Solomon, he looked for women in countries that God declared off limits. As the people of Israel, God says, you marry only people that are Israelite. Don't marry foreign women because they'll lead you over into their gods. Well, that's exactly what Solomon did. He went to other countries, found women who had foreign gods, brought them into his palace. They intrigued him. And
he probably wasn't doing it as a direct awareness. With direct awareness, he was so lost in his desire for more sex, desire for more wealth, desire for more power, that he just kept reaching. He ran out of the good-looking women here close to home, so he reached further out. It's amazing what happens when we step away from faith.
Yep.
We become lost.
Totally become, that's the great word. He just lost his way. His father was who? King David. David was described by God as a man after God's own heart. Was he perfect? No.
But he didn't get lost like this.
No. Or yes.
Or yes.
Because wasn't it David who looked when he should have been out when it was time for kings to go to war? David didn't go. He didn't do what a good king should have been doing. He should have been there giving the end of day speech to his soldiers.
Yeah.
But he's at home. He says, you guys got this one. I'll just take it easy. So in the cool of the evening, Bathsheba's bathing. He looks down over there. Whoa, why don't you bring her up? I haven't seen her before. Boom, one thing leads to another. So interesting. The sins of the father, God's word says, will be carried to the third and fourth generation. What David did in moderation, Solomon practiced in excess.
So Solomon experienced a sense of total vanity, really. I mean, he famously declared it too, didn't he? Vanity, vanity, all is vanity. I mean, it speaks to how fleeting and unfulfilling a life based solely on flesh, the fulfillment and pleasures. It's so selfish and so self-centered, but it shows you that it has no lasting feed for your true joy in your heart, especially when God's separated apart from it.
Exactly. Yeah. He pursued everything. Wisdom, pleasure, work, wealth, but concluded that without a divine purpose, these pursuits are just empty. That's what vanity really means. They're just empty. They're worthless. They're vain. But I rejoice in the fact that there's a redemptive part in this book, which says that there's a redemptive part in this life of Solomon. By the end of the book, he arrives at a crucial realization about life's true purpose, the way God intended it. And that's where I think we need to really, really focus.
So tell our viewing audience, what's the true realization here?
What's the true what?
Realization.
The true realization, I think he sums it up in the 12th chapter when he states, fear God, keep his commandments, for this is the entire duty of man.
Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14. It's just very simple. Fear God. That doesn't mean you just quake. You have a deep, deep respect when God says something as your creator. You do it because he's given you the very life that you have, the number of days that you have, the appointment after life is over. He says, I have an appointment with you when life is over. I'll call that shot, and then your first stop is me. You're going to give an account of what you've done. So we fear God, we keep his commandments, and it's the whole duty of man wrapped up in that. So the shift reflects a profound contrast in that earlier part where it says, gimme, 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 gimme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fear God, keep his commands.
Fear God, keep his command.
Yep.
Pretty simple, right? This is a short summary
Easier said than done, though, right?
It is. Look, even for someone fighting and
Easier
trying
said than
so
done.
hard to keep him front and center of
Yeah.
everything I do, ensuring that we glorify him in every step we make, it still is very difficult.
You're right.
The world does attack.
That's right.
So fear God, keep his command.
Mm-hmm.
This is a short summary for a very influential man, too, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if Solomon were in the studio with us now, what do you think he would offer as the top 2 or maybe 3 takeaways for lessons that we should learn
I think the
in life?
first thing he would say is serve others. I think he would say spend your life serving rather than being served. I think he would say spend your life being a giver, not a getter.
Nice.
I think he would say, like, hey, serve other people, don't use them. That's all he was doing, right? He was a misogynist to the max. Solomon, who preceded the life of Jesus, would know what Jesus told us to do with our life. And I think he would align with Jesus, who said, if you want to be great in my kingdom, be a servant of all. Mark 10:45, even for the Son of Man, he didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many. The Apostle Paul to the Galatian church, he says, for you were called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love, serve one another.
Wow. Love it.
That's the difference.
But it doesn't come natural to serve, does it? I mean,
No.
we seem to prefer to be served rather than to be known as a servant.
True that, my friend. True that. And I think that leads us right into the second thing that we need to know when comparing Solomon's early life to the implications that Jesus would instruct us for our life. He says, think long-term rewards. Don't focus on immediate gratification. Be intentional about the rewards in heaven, not here on earth. Matthew 6, for instance, says, don't lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and thieves break in and steal, but rather lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy and thieves cannot break in and steal. What a difference, right?
Yes.
Duh.
All right, what's the third one? What's the final?
The third one, we should understand that a life of purpose and meaning is focused on giving, not getting. That's not a whole lot different than the very first, but it's just that simple. Solomon's life serves as a cautionary tale against one primary thing.
What's that?
Selfishness. Don't be selfish.
No.
Jesus was the antithesis of selfish. He was a servant.
Yeah.
Instead, we're called to lead with love and integrity.
That's a powerful reminder, Brent. As we conclude today's discussion, let's reflect on how we can apply these lessons. I mean, especially as our audience is listening here, want them to go away with how they can apply it in their daily lives. Life is too short to chase after the wind. It's too short to chase after fairy tales.
Yep.
We've got to be real with ourselves. As Solomon teaches us, put our faith in God, and then all is possible, and all fulfills you, what can we give them that they can actually chew on?
Look way beyond money.
Yeah.
Money is nothing more than what Paul describes as wood, hay, and stubble. If you can light it with a match and it's consumed, you don't want to spend your time trying to acquire it here, because the whole earth, the book of Revelation says, is going to eventually burn up with fire. Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, the eternal.
Yeah.
Chuck, we are spiritual beings on an earthly journey. We're not taking any money. We're not taking our house. We're not taking our BMW or our Mercedes with us. We're not taking the BMW or the Volkswagen. Doesn't matter. No Harleys in heaven. But if you got a Harley, maybe they want to think that. I don't think so.
I think my son might. He loves his Harley.
Proverbs 16 says, commit your way to the Lord. Yeah. Commit your way to the Lord, and your plans will be established. If you compare those words with the lifestyle of King Solomon in the Old Testament, and if you compare those with the words of Jesus and the Apostle Paul, Ephesians 2:10, for instance, as we see that God says, we are God's masterpiece. We're created in Christ Jesus. Why? To do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Wow. When we align our want with His will, we're going to find satisfaction. Yeah. Wealth won't bring it. Power won't bring it. Sex won't bring it. No amount will bring it. You align your want with God's will.
Yeah, and you find His will in the Bible,
That's
in
right.
His Word. It never occurred to me the similarities of the counsel of King Solomon at the end of his life and the counsel of Saul when he expanded the church from Jerusalem through Asia and into Italy, right? But it's true. You're right.
You're talking
God
Saul,
shows.
who became Paul the apostle.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Because there was a King Saul, and then there was the apostle Saul, who became Paul, so we don't want to confuse them.
But it's so similar, right?
Yeah.
God shows us that chasing sex, chasing money,
right.
chasing positional power is a waste of life, isn't
Right.
it?
Exactly. Exactly.
What would you tell, and this is a little personal here, all right? What would you tell a 26-year-old who's most of his life ahead of him, so much ahead of him, like for us, a little bit easier to bow down and say, all right, I'm in, because my gosh, 30 more years. But what about someone that's 26 years old?
If I had one verse to speak into the life of every 16-year-old boy or girl, I would take them to Matthew chapter 8, verse 36. Young man, young woman, what would it profit you if you were to gain the whole world and yet lose your own soul? We could fill in the gaps, right? Young man, young woman, what if you had all the sex and more than you could possibly ever truly use and yet lose your own soul? If you had all the power, if you were literally president of the United States or ruler of the entire world, what would it profit you if you stood before God and He said, depart from me, I never knew you? Yeah. And if the Bible's true, which obviously we believe that it's true, He says, every man, every woman that has an understanding of what we're saying right now is either going to end up in heaven or a place that God calls hell, where it's described as weeping, wailing, gnashing of teeth, total darkness, torment, nothing but pain, grief, and sorrow, as compared to heaven, where God gives us perfection, peace, no sickness, no death, no grief, no pain. So what would it profit you? What would it profit our audience? They would gain everything.
Yeah.
And yet lose their soul. That's what one thing I would say. Just Mark 8, verse 36.
I like it.
Yeah. How many partners do you think it would take to satisfy a human being, Chuck?
One. I mean,
God's way, one. Man's way, when we step out of the bounds of what God gave us for our good. By the way, Old Testament dietary laws, they were for health reasons. Marriage laws, monogamy, for good, wholesome families.
Yeah.
But the proof is, one is God's design, but 300 is not enough, plus 600 concubines, they're not enough either. Wealth, evidently $114 million, $120 million, $1 billion by the 3 bills and the Diddy Combs. evidently it's not enough, right? Because they just kept going until they ended up in huge cesspools of trouble. Power, popularity. Is Bill Gates considered a powerful man? I think so.
Yeah.
Apple computer, come on,
yeah.
man. Bill Clinton, powerful. Puff Daddy, powerful.
Yeah.
They're known all over the world, but I wouldn't want to live the legacy that they formed with their life. If you could force yourself to accept this one statement and prediction from the Bible as a future fact, it would offer you the greatest chance of aligning your want with your Creator's will.
Yeah.
All that is appointed unto God, it's all appointed by God once to die, and after that the judgment. So we need to align ourselves now with what He would have us to do. So heaven or hell, the choice is ours.
Yeah.
No grief, no suffering, no sadness, no sorrow, no illness. It awaits those that say, I'm just going to stick with one. God, I'm going to do it your way. I'm going to do it your way. Know God and obey Him.
It's not a high price to pay.
Not considering what it costs you to get it
Yeah.
and what you benefit after you've received it at Christ's expense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Powerful, powerful, powerful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Chuck, when I look at men like the Three Bills, Sean Combs,
Yeah.
men, women that I know personally without saying any names, I've watched as a pastor of a church, the same church for 24 years. I dedicated infant babies after they were a few months old. And then later on, 24, 25 years later, I married them. That's what it is when you have a long-term pastorate.
Yeah.
But you know what I noticed more than once in the congregation, watching people week after week, month after month, year after year, 2 decades and a half, this is what I noticed. Sin will always take you further than you wanted to go, keep you longer than you wanted to stay, and cost you more than you wanted to pay.
Wow.
Focusing on self will never bring satisfaction or happiness. Doing life God's way is the answer to absolute peace, satisfaction, fulfillment.
Wow.
You won't go through life, Chuck, without making a mistake.
No.
But when you can learn from your mistake, which I commend Solomon, he learned from his mistakes.
Yeah.
So John Maxwell talks about failing forward.
Yeah.
Failing forward is so critically important. He says, look, you should never say to someone, hey, what would you do in the next 5 years if you knew you couldn't fail? Well, he says, that's a terrible question because you're not going to do anything significant in the next 5 years without failures. And he said, the real question is, when you fail, attempting to do something you've never done before to reach a goal you've never reached before, what are you going to do? He says, you want to fail forward. So while you're down there, you've stumbled and you've fallen in failure, you look around and you pick up a big stick, something that's going to help you when you stand back up on your feet. You're going to be able to take a bigger step because of the failure than you took before the failure. That's what I think it means when you look at Solomon's life. For the people that are listening in today, for my friends, the people that I pastored, the people in Burkina Faso that I came to know decades ago, look, It's just this simple. God will never hold it against you.
Yeah.
But He expects you to now make an adjustment based on what you've learned. Solomon did it, and he did it to perfection. I tried this, and it was all about me.
And we can only pray that Combs, Clinton,
Amen.
Gates, Cosby, that they all do the same
Amen.
thing.
Yep.
They give themselves over to Jesus,
Yep.
and they use their testimony to inspire others.
Amen. Yeah, that's truly the goal. And I think Jesus prays for them too. I know He does.
And we know we pick on them because they're in the news, they're in the media.
Yeah.
But there's hundreds of thousands just like them that are hiding in the dark shadows that are doing the same thing.
Exactly right. So really what people are looking for is just give me something that will satisfy.
Yeah.
But, you know, Chuck, we're never going to be satisfied. We're never going to know deep, deep inner peace until we meet the Prince of Peace. Yeah. So we're these earthly beings on a spiritual journey, and Jesus came and he says, now I'm going to give you my spirit, that when my spirit dwells within you, you can do all things. In my name, through the power of the Holy Spirit, you can say no to temptation. You can say no to greed. You don't have to cheat on your income tax and then rationalize it because you don't like the existing president. People steal thousands of dollars all into I don't like that president anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you're not doing it for the president. You're doing it. God says, whether in word or in deed, whatever you do it all to the glory of God and not as unto men. It's all wrapped up in the same thing. Just honor God, obey him. Know him, obey him.
Thank you, Brent. It was such a pleasure having you back today. I always enjoy these moments. I really do. And thank you for joining us in this deep dive into sex, money, and power, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, however you look at it. I mean, it really is, right? I mean, Solomon realized it wasn't the key to happiness.
Do you know where the name rock and roll came from?
Where?
Rock was, it refers to giving money to a prostitute. You give her the rock, and then you roll. So when you joke about sex, money, and rock and roll, we could do something on music in another day. But that, if you go back and research that, rock and roll, it was all tied together. Music, drugs, money, sex. It was all rock and roll.
You're witnessing what happens and why we've dug deep into this show. I learn something new every single day. I mean, even in rehearsals, we talk through it. I'm like, what? I didn't know that. Let me look that up. It's amazing. But even Solomon realized it wasn't the key. None of this was the key to his happiness. If we can learn something, we can learn from history, right? We have to pay attention to history. These men, and whether you call them great or not, Solomon became a great man. He put his morals in the right place. And
he's been dead for thousands of years, and we're still talking about him. That would classify greatness, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no distraction, as he said, that matters.
You know why he's really great? Because God told us about him, recorded it in his eternal book, the world's #1 bestseller, so that we can make adjustments learning from his mistakes. Wise men learn from the mistakes of others. Foolish men just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. So, yeah, Solomon is not to be belittled. He's not to be made fun of. He's to be respected because, he tried it all.
Yeah. But
he came around.
We all fall short from the glory. No sin.
That's right.
Is worse than the other.
That's right.
He just had it in abundance.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really, the lesson is as simple as this. You just have to ask for God to forgive you. Mm-hmm. This is what you do. You make that decision that you're no longer centered on your flesh pleasures, but you're now centered on him and his word and glorifying him. And just ask God to be your Savior and Lord. That's his desire for your life. And when he put you together in your mother's womb, he wanted you to have all the glory, all the great. He wanted you to be great. He wanted you to have everything. He created you for that. So when you choose to align your wants with his will, you will know peace. That, I promise you. Hey, be sure to send us a message. Subscribe, like our page. Today is your day to find true peace and satisfaction. I mean, oh my goodness, it's so great.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too. We hope you find inspiration in this journey with us. Until next time, keep embracing your journey in faith, and remember, you are not alone. I love that line. You are not alone. See you next week on I Am.
That settles it for me. His